up, everybody? Welcome to Bourbon Buzz and Ballin', and it's time to rate that shit. What we have, Kolby?
Well, Saturday we went and visited the Southern Distilling Company up in Statesville, North Carolina. Pat was our tour guide. Great job, Pat. Ben, our bartender, and then, of course, Joe, we spent a lot of time with because we got there early, and he's another one of their tour guides that, we had a lot of good conversation with all of them. So I just, after the tour was over, I decided to buy their Bottle and Bond whiskey. We did bourbon. So I thought we'd, in honor of going and seeing those guys this weekend, I thought we'd rate their bourbon for them.
Yeah, it was a nice facility, man.
It was real nice. It's
so young, so new.
It's the largest in North Carolina, which isn't really saying a lot because North Carolina's not really known for, it's not really a hotbed for distilling bourbon.
Right.
But they have done a very good job in a short time. And they continue to grow. They're getting ready to put in, more silos, more cookers, everything where they can up their production. Pat was telling us that their bourbon has competed against some E.H. Taylor and some Elmer Lee and beat both of them, and it's just been a fast rising bourbon.
It was we've been to a handful of distilleries up in Kentucky.
Right.
They had it was a real nice facility, kind of modeled along the same lines as some of the newer facilities that we went into, where everything's kind of housed under one roof. And I thought it was a really high class operation.
It was. It not quite on the scale, obviously, of the distilleries in Kentucky, but it was a good tour, knowledgeable staff. They let us try the White Dog. They let us try the corn mash, and then
stuck our hands in the I forget the process already. In the mash, we stuck our hands in
the fermentation process.
Process.
Yeah. So it was a good tour and real nice facility. And if any of our North Carolina listeners head up to Statesville, it's right up 77, and it's not that far of a drive. And if you're up there, stop by Randy's and get some barbecue.
Randy's barbecue. Yeah.
They got the best sweet tea in town. just read the sign. But
tater tots weren't
not quite crisp enough, but the barbecue was good. The tea, I'm not even a sweet tea drinker, but it was good.
Yeah, Randy's is a good barbecue
and the nanner pudding was pretty good too.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
All right, well let's get on with this tasting. So why don't you give them the rating system, and then we'll tell a little bit more about this bourbon.
All right. Our rating system is pretty straightforward. We do 1 through 4. 1 is our lowest level. We call that brown bag. 1, we basically there's not many bourbons that we kick to the curb, but if you get a 1 at the bourbon, 5 ones
out of all,
out of 30 plus. Because we were doing 3 at one time.
Yeah, that's
so it's rare for us to actually kick a bourbon.
It's got to be pretty bad
to the curb, and pretty much that doesn't necessarily mean don't get it, don't try it.
Yeah, it does.
But don't buy it for sure.
Yeah, try it, don't buy it.
Don't buy it, yeah. Unless you just think we don't know what we're talking about. But we've drank a little bit of bourbon.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, so number two is, we call that a mixer. That's pretty much going to fall in the lines of a stock bourbon for us. Something that you kind of daily drink. You like to put it in your favorite recipe for old fashioned or whatever, Manhattan, whatever you like to make. 3, it's getting better. Might be a little bit higher in proof, like the one we did.
And 3 has been where most of them are falling. Because we try to get bourbons that we expect to be good.
Sure.
We're not trying to go out and buy brown bags.
Right.
So most, we've already rated 27 as 3s.
As 3s.
Is on the rocks. So, we got the least amount in the brown bag, and then the second least amount would be our 4s, which we're stingy on our 4s because we want to just be wowed with our 4s. But 3 is where most of them fall.
That would be interesting to know what the average price range
Well, and it
Pretty much $50 probably.
probably, and you know, I use a rating system for the price also, and I think that needs to be adjusted because it started out where under 30 was what I called $1 sign, 30 to 50 was $2 signs, and anything over 50 was $3 signs. So most everything we're buying is $3 signs.
Pretty much, I think 80,
I thought about moving it to
$80
60 or 70 for the two. You know, like this one here being a $60 bourbon, this Paragon Bottle and Bond. To me, that probably should have been a $2 sign, not a $3 sign. But
Yeah. So back on to our rating system. Three is our on the rocks, and then four is our top shelf. That's the way we prefer to drink ours, and that is neat.
And you know that's our rating system. But just because we give it a 3 doesn't mean we're going to drink it on the rocks.
That's right. That's right.
Chances are we're still going to drink it neat, but it's not quite the top of the top for us.
Right.
So it's a scoring, but we just kind of threw catchy names at it. Too.
Yeah.
So,
FYI, we like Woodford for our
like just old fashions or mixer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Woodford or a Maker's Mark.
Yeah, that's
something
pretty
like that.
much our standard mixer.
Right. All right, well, let me tell you a little bit more about this. Like I said, it's the Paragon series from the Southern Distilling Company in Statesville, North Carolina. So they call this Southern Star Paragon. This is their wheated bourbon. They have a few. They do a high rye, they do a double rye, and then they do a few wheated bourbons.
Yeah.
So this is the Paragon series. They've got the entry-level Paragon, just the straight Kentucky wheated bourbon. It's like 92 proof. This one's 100 proof. And then they do some cask strengths.
Yeah.
And those can range anywhere from like 108 proof to 112, 113 proof.
And the regular Paragon is the one I fell in love with. It was the store pick, right?
Well, but that was cask strength.
Was it cast?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
That was actually a Lincoln County select barrel.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it was specific to this location, and that's the one, that kind of got us on this whole Southern Star kick. So it's aged for 4 years. The mash bill on this is 70% corn, and it's 16 wheat, 14 barley. Like I mentioned earlier, it's 100 proof, obviously, because it's bottled in bond. 4-year minimum. Now they did tell us, if they pop that bung and it doesn't quite taste what they want, they'll age it longer. They're not gonna bottle it until they feel good about it.
Right.
Which they should.
And they have a 10-year release coming up in 3 years.
Yeah, and
I had a 10-year rye
right, yeah,
when we were there, and,
Right.
and that was really good.
right.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really smooth for a rye
What'd they say? They've been at that location,
since 2014.
but they've only been barreling since 19?
Oh,
17. I can't remember.
17, I think,
17.
is their first, production.
Yeah, that's
line
right.
that went
Because
out.
I knew they hadn't been doing it long enough for a 7-year bourbon, but they had been doing
Right,
it for
for
long enough for the
4.
4-year. So yes, it was 2017. You
Yeah.
are correct.
And
So
so they got 3 more years before they released the
yes,
7
right. And they did. I asked. They did say yes. They've got some set back.
or 10. That's going to be the 10-year release from 2017 to 2027.
Right, but in 24 they're going to do some
Do the
7-year.
7-year.
Yep. All right. So this is supposed to be a sweet floral aroma.
I already know. I mean, we already. Yes, kind of caramelly to me.
Yes, and that's what you're gonna taste caramel up front, and then you should finish with some apple and maybe a little apricot.
Apricot.
And it's got a nice dark amber color. It's got some good legs on the glass.
That's a really nice
Very smooth.
hug up front. Coat your mouth. Definitely.
That is one thing, Pat. You need to get a little bit heavier handed.
Yeah, his pours were a little light. I don't like the little plastic cups.
Yeah.
They need to
course,
upgrade to some
A
Glencairns.
$15 tour though. It was.
That's true. That was very economically
Yes.
priced correctly. Definitely a lot going on with this bourbon. It's got a lot of
Good
upfront
stuff.
flavors, got a lot of back end flavors. That's a talented bourbon to me, man. It's just really good.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still, my mouth is still tingling.
right.
A little bit of coat, the hug is gone.
Nice.
Definitely some fruitiness on the back end. I couldn't pinpoint the apricot, but
Yeah, that's what I was. I catch myself doing that. I try to like subliminally tell myself to taste apricot.
that's good.
Very smooth for 100 proof.
100 proof. That's
Very,
really good.
Very smooth. Now the two that we tried that were the cask strength. One of them was I think 107 proof, and the other was
111.
111
point
and
something.
and you could definitely get the heat off that 111. This 100, I mean, it is smooth.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect blend of easy drink with a little bit more complexity to it to kind of hit you.
I'm struggling between two numbers right now,
Okay.
so I'm gonna need a little bit more.
Let me have a little bit more too, just to make sure that I'm with you on your struggles.
I hate when I struggle. Means I have to drink more.
This is solid, man. It's a solid bourbon, man. I'm so glad that they're so close. And it's a really it's a good bourbon. It's a nice bottle, beautiful logo. I like the whole Southern Distillery logo.
Yeah, I bought a T-shirt. It's got the big logo, the SD on the back.
Yeah.
I
Right,
hope they
right
do
in
well.
our backyard.
And we did talk to them about possibly doing a remote podcast up there, and they were very high on the idea. So probably in the near future, we'll do some more with them.
Yeah.
All right, come at me.
Man, I'm kind of torn. I'm gonna give it a solid 3. I'm gonna go 3.
Yeah,
I want to go 4.
I do. Yeah, that's why I poured another one because
I want to go 4, but
it is good.
it's just that might be my favorite bottle now, the bottled in Bond.
You like that one better than the
Yeah.
cask?
Yeah, that 100 is just hitting right on the money.
And like I said, it's
hitting right on the money. It's really good.
I'm torn. I'm
I'm gonna go solid. It's a solid 3, man. It's a solid 3 for me. I'll definitely partake in that one neat. But in terms of our rating system tonight, I can't quite rank it up there with.
Well, that's what I'm trying to compare it in my head to some chicken cock or to some Willet, to some Jefferson's Ocean.
24 Voyage.
Yes, Voyage 24.
There's a huge difference in the Jefferson Ocean by Voyage, and we found that the Voyage 24 was,
which it's probably off the shelves
Oh
now.
yeah, I doubt you'll
Last
find
time I
any
looked,
more
I saw
24.
one bottle of 24, and everything else was 28.
Yeah. Now I haven't tried the 28, but we did try some of the teens, and they weren't as good as the 24.
You know what?
Go ahead, man. Come on.
This guy, I love me some caramel, and that's got that caramel taste to it, and it's got a nice. It stays with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't burn down your esophagus, but it stays with you. I don't know if I'm being a homer or because I want to give it a 4.
Come on.
I might need to do like a blind taste test. Put this beside some Willet or some chicken cock, or both. Although I think I'm out of chicken cock. I finished that off poker night Friday night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to do some blind tests. We need to
Yeah.
rank our top 5.
Yep.
Under whatever dollar figure.
Well, by you giving it a 3, it's going to default to a 3, but I'm going to give it a 4.
All right.
I'm going to give it a neat, but in the what I do when we split like that is I go with the lower
3.5.
We don't really have a 3.5, so
right.
I default it down to the 3. So, but it's good regardless of whether you call it a 3 or a 4. It's definitely
worth the purchase.
Definitely
man.
a good bourbon.
Put that on your shelf. Be happy you bought it.
Right.
I think it's. I don't think you can go wrong with any of the Southern Star products. Now Kolby doesn't too much. He doesn't hit on the rye side too much.
Right.
But I did hit a 10-year rye from Southern Distilleries. That was excellent.
And you gave me a sip of it, and it was very good up front, but on the back end was where I got that rye spice, and that's where it lost me. The first on the tongue and all that was enjoyable, but then it lost me on the back end, and that's why I prefer a wheated over a rye.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely glad they're in our backyard, and I'm looking forward to the 10-year bottle, the 7 to 10-year bottle, and then of course we can always put our hands on these all day long.
And my son bought the 92 proof, the one below this one, and then I bought the bottle and bond, and then Brian bought the cask strength, so we got one of each.
And I didn't buy anything because I already have the cask and the regular at the house.
Right.
I should have bought the bottled and bond, but I mean it's literally 50 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a problem to be able to find some.
No, we can just, and I'm in Statesville regular, so I can zip up there and snatch a bottle anytime I want it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nah, good deal. All right, well, I think that wraps up this week.
Yeah.
Good conversation over there at the poker table. We did a Who You Got segment. That was the first time we did that, and it was enjoyable and good discussion.
Yeah,
good banter.
We're kind of in between some really good topics in sports, so we kind of engineered our own conversation.
That's right.
So
That's
to
right.
speak.
Yeah, you came up with some topics to discuss and generate some back and forth. So
what we're gonna do next week? You think we're gonna do the BT?
Yeah, we can go. We can go back to the.
Or do we want to stay on this line and do some more?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can go ahead and knock out all the Southern Star, the Paragon. So yeah, we can do that next week.
All right, done deal.
Sounds good. All right,
Excellent.
so we'll see y'all next week. Cheers.
Cheers.